Melbourne, Florida vicinity, and we're about to enter a homeless camp. Now this whole entire area, you can already start to see the garbage piled up everywhere. This homeless camp is so large that you can actually see it from satellite imagery. Stuff like luggage bags. As usual, the Circle K Slurpees. See that they have a cast net here for fishing. As usual, these Florida homeless camps are going to be right next to lakes. All right, so we can already see our first camp. Now, recently they came through here with the lawnmower and opened a path, but I can assure you that for the most part, this area back here was inaccessible until recently. Now, you may have heard people say that Melbourne, Florida is the fastest growing city in the United States right now. So some stupid magazine publishes that this is the fastest growing city in America. And the people that live there believe it somehow. You know, bless their heart, they just don't know any better. Actually, mobile homes on the other side. And just like most of these homeless camps on the East Coast, you can definitely see that they recently brought equipment in here to clear it. And they are trying to get rid of most of these homeless camps because this land is now becoming valuable. Homes on the other side. You can see how this canal here is just filled with tarps and garbage. So the people that live on the other side that have nice properties have to overlook these homeless camps. You can tell they're coming in here and they're clearing out these homeless camps. All this here is nothing but giant homeless camps. You can see them on Google Maps, but they've came in and cleared it already. You can tell that the community on the other side is a poor community. It's not really anything fancy. In fact, there's even graffiti behind that shed right there. But the city of Melbourne is trying to get rid of these homeless camps and knocking them down and stuff. But you can see what the homeless people do is drag all this garbage into the woods. That Melbourne is the fastest growing city in the United States. They're trying to bring in some investment by saying that. Melbourne is one of the most insignificant cities in Florida. It's nothing impressive. And on top of that, Melbourne has a few problems like police profiling of the African-American community here. This isn't really a place you want to move to. I would put it on the top 10 list of places in Florida you probably wouldn't move to, especially if you're African-American. The police profiling here is horrendous. They're policing this area like if it was the 1960s or something. So some stupid magazine publishes that Melbourne's now the fastest growing city in the country. And bless their heart, they believe it. So now people in Melbourne think they're the fastest growing city. And it's that type of misinformation that actually gets people to move here. I talked to a friend that lives out here. He said ever since SB 1718, all the construction sites pretty much came to a state of paralyzation. I'm actually going to go inside the tunnel camp because I walked all the way back here to see some homeless camps and they got knocked down by the city. So we're going in the tunnel. Guys, let's see. The tunnel homeless camp. How do we even get in here? Looks like you just gotta duck down real low. Hello. Coming through. You can see there's a homeless camp in here, but man, it's just well hidden. Wow. This might be abandoned for a while even. Yeah, there's a huge homeless camp in here. I'm just trying to see how I can get to it. Oh, horrendous. Huge fire ant pile. Covered in freaking fire ants. Oh, head to toe, I don't know. I guess there's fire ants on the trees. Oh, dang it. Welcome to this crap hole. We're inside of the homeless camp here now. And you can see, well, the typical signs. Tarps, a hole to try to burn or bury their garbage. I don't know what the crap this is. Mattresses, for some reason they spray painted a tree. Welcome to Melbourne, Florida. The fastest growing community in the United States. Okay, if you say so. That's interesting right there. Wow, getting through the bush was kind of not fun. Well, this homeless camp is a complete mess in all directions, really. It's just, wow, what a nightmare, really. Unbelievable. There's another homeless camp at the same site. Okay, this is where the people were earlier. Coming through, coming through. Coming through. Coming through, coming through. Just coming through. But as you can see, they're burning garbage here. Must have had a huge bonfire here. Coming through, coming through. So there's a huge homeless camp here. This is definitely an active camp because you can see there's still a tent that's fresh here. They do have a fence blocking the trail. Whatever this is, a place to hang out. Huge bonfire here. This is definitely an active site. There's definitely people living here right now. You can see they have a mattress or two mattresses and a pillow that they hung so they could dry it out. This is the misery that people have to live inside these Florida homeless camps. This is just a miserable situation that somebody has to live like this. You know, I mean, literally hanging a pillow to dry it in the middle of the woods. But you can see there's definitely some misery going on in this homeless camp. I'm going to assume by the clothing that there's a male and a female here. But what's this? Well, they have it blocked. How do you even get out of here? How do we even get out of this homeless camp? Maybe it's just the way we came in. Wow, okay. Because that's the entrance, but they have it blocked. So they have it strategically laid out so you can't get in or out through there. They kind of blocked it, and they kind of had this booby trapped as well here. So you can see kind of how they've got it all booby trapped with nails and stuff. Keep people from getting that in. This city of Melbourne is the fastest growing city in the United States. You'd have to be stupid to believe that. Guys, I travel all over the United States for my YouTube channel. San Antonio, Texas. Austin, Texas. Lehigh Acres. Sarasota. Lakewood Ranch. The outskirts of Tampa. The outskirts of Orlando. How the crap is this the fastest growing anything? The only thing it is the fastest growing crap hole. I'd believe that. I'd believe that for sure. Yeah, there's always bicycles in these homeless camps for some reason that I don't understand. Look at how much garbage there is here. How the crap do I get back over to where I was earlier? The neighborhood looks like a dump too. Well, at least they have a sidewalk, but there's cars parked on the sidewalk. And this community here is the mobile home park. Definitely looks like a really poor area. It's just kind of old rundown mobile homes from the 70s and stuff. So definitely isn't anything fancy out here. So this is what this little community right next to the homeless camps look like. Kind of reminds me of where I grew up in Naples. You have a huge wall to make sure that nobody driving on 95 can see what's happening back here. So welcome to the fastest growing city in Florida, Melbourne. I mean, the notion, it's crazy how today, you know, some stupid magazine publishes something and everybody just runs with it and believes it. So here we are behind a gas station. You can see the homeless people have just been dumping waters, Gatorades, Big Gulps, all that crap. But in the back, there are some homeless camps. And this part of Melbourne has quite literally one of the largest concentrations of homeless camps in the state of Florida. Landmass, see they have a cone here. It's kind of like warning you, hey, stay out or whatever, but we're still coming in. Let me turn on my GoPro. Turn the GoPro on in case I ever have to run. But this is in fact one of the largest agglomerations of homeless camps in the state of Florida, in Melbourne. It's huge. I mean, I don't even know how many acres this whole homeless camp area would be, but it's probably 40 acres on the outskirts of Melbourne. That's nothing but homeless camps scattered like you see here. And there are some pretty big tents back here. We just got to work our way back. You can see a shoe on the trail. That usually means like stay out in the homeless vocabulary. But we're gonna keep pushing through here and see what we can see. You have a lot of shoes here, kind of a warning sign almost to stay out. But deep in the back there are some pretty large improvised homeless camps. Let's see if we can get anywhere near them though, because it seems like You could quite literally get lost in this mess. Think about how many beers were drank back here. How many big gulps. How many beers, how many Gatorades, how many Mountain Dews were drank back in these woods. Who knows what else they were doing. Now in Florida, a lot of the pills are the main method of injection, so you don't see too many needles in Florida. But that doesn't mean that it's not happening. The reason they don't use needles is because it leaves behind evidence. But if they use kind of you can see there's like in there, they're really well hidden. I mean, it's ridiculous because if you have all this garbage in the front, you're not really hiding your homeless camp. Coming through, coming through. Coming through. Oh, sliced the life out of me. But there's a bunch of big camps back here. Coming through, coming through. Huge camp wreck in here. And I guess the city's been coming in here and tearing some of these camps down, but there's still a bunch of them. Here's one right here. You can see this is just... Wow. Can you imagine living in this mess? Can you imagine your life being so much of a cluster? I mean, if I was homeless, my camp would be clean or something. I wouldn't... You can tell there's people laying up in here. They have tarps as a place to sleep. Clothing that they're trying to dry. A cooler. Big gulps, of course, from Wawa. It's starting to rain. Even though it's raining, it's still so super humid and muggy out here. Look at me, I'm like literally covered in sweat. That's not even rain, that's all sweat. But these are the conditions of these homeless camps here in Melbourne. The fastest growing city in America. Oh, bless their little heart. They're growing, aren't they? Yeah, their homeless camps are growing. Of course, to the average idiot, you could tell them that and they'd believe it. But somebody like me who's, a world-renowned traveler, yeah, I don't believe it. But despite the fact now it's the 30s, it's mostly the 30s now, which are pills, you do still find evidence of needles here and there, like this right here. You can actually tell here there's some type of situation going on. The vast majority of stuff now is pills in Florida, but there are still the occasional needles. Now, I don't know what's going on in here, so I'm not even going to touch it, but you can see that there's a lot of aluminum foil. I'm going to guess this is all very bad stuff inside of this little bucket here. I'm not an expert on this stuff, but this little area here, to me, looks like there's some very, very bad things going on. We don't want to touch anything because, as we know, with the fent, if you touch it, you can actually ingest it just by touching it. So we really can't touch any of this stuff. But in here, I wish I had a pair of gloves and a mask, because I'm sure if we were to explore in here, we would find some very interesting things. Hey, lakefront property in the fastest growing city in America. It's crazy that people can live like this. It's just, how do you even live like this, It's really crazy. It's crazy that somebody could live in this mess. It's wild. And, they got a cast net, so they're obviously catching fish. Look at this. It's just endless piles of garbage in all directions. This is where people are living in. Like, you see old tents that have been here over the years. People live in this mess, and I'm thinking, I think if they hear you, you can see a snake moving that way. I'm thinking they hear you coming and they run, because these do look like inhabited sites. And guys, we could run into anything out here. I think eventually, if we keep exploring these homeless camps, we're definitely one day going to run into something very disturbing, if we haven't already. But coming through. We're back over in this little area here. It all looks the same to me. I don't even know if I've been here already or not, because quite frankly, all of this crap looks the same to me. You can see a head-mounted flashlight right there. Okay, there's that cone again. All right. So on a magazine, they publish Oh, Melbourne, Florida, the fastest growing city in America. This is what they don't want to show you, okay? This here, you know, they'll tell you it's the fastest growing community and all these great things are happening in Melbourne, but this right here is what they won't show you. Is that they're telling people this is a great place to move, it's growing fast, but they don't show you these needle infected, whatever the crap that stuff was. They don't show you this. This is out of mind, out of sight. They said that as soon as I walked in, a bunch of people walked out, so there were a bunch of homeless people there, but when they saw me, they got the crap out of the way. So I guess that's the thing that's happening, is when they see me, they run. So my wife was in the car and she said that as soon as I walked in, they walked right out. So it's exactly what I thought, which is they saw me and they ran away. So that's what's happening. These homeless camps, they're there, but when they see you, they run. What major growth is going on in this city? I don't see nothing special going on here. What's so special? What's the fastest growing city? I don't see anything. A few new apartments, that's going on in everywhere in Florida. But these magazines publish all that garbage. The people believe it because they live here and they want to tell themselves that they live in the greatest place in the world, but they don't know any better. They've never traveled the world like I have. What America hacer? Esto no es nada hacer. Hialeah's growing faster than this.